Hello everyone, Storm 101 here. Today we'll be doing a live stream here tonight. So a couple of things got my attention tonight here. If y'all can tell in the title, the balls are indicating for some more snowstorms possible. I'll give y'all the locations in a moment, but it's also showing maybe an ice storm for Kentucky and Tennessee next week. And that's the one that really got my attention. I'm trying to get chat pulled up on my phone here before we get started here. I'm really trying here. So welcome to everyone that will be joining the live stream. See here. Come on. I wanted to try to get I'm going to try to get chat pulled up later, but hello, Warren Moore. Is Kentucky getting a mild winter this year? Maybe towards the end of the winter. I think winter will end a little bit early since we're having since winter's having an early start this year, so maybe a little bit milder towards later in the winter, but as of right now, like, if you're talking about, like, for the rest of December and January, maybe a little bit into February, looking to be colder than average. So, but yeah, let's go ahead and talk about the snowstorm chances. So we're going to first take a look onto the European model. If y'all haven't seen my last snowfall forecast, it's kind of a little bit of a bust. A little bit. Some areas in the coating to 1 inch did not get anything. Like for me, I didn't get anything. I put my area coating to 1 inch. And the models have really backed off at the last minute, so I didn't really have time to change it. But some areas did get quite a bit of snow. Like northern Alabama, parts of Tennessee, they got snowfall amounts over 1 inch for some of those areas. Now we're still waiting for the Northeast to get in the snow. You'll get into the snow very shortly. Should be about tomorrow morning. But let's go and just focus on our next systems. So Wednesday should be mainly quiet. And if this here can load, it's right now not loading in correctly. Alright, I got chat. Good. I do have chat. So, now I can look at your all's chat. So, yeah, something's not right here. You can tell about looking at this here. Oh man. Is there something about my Wi-Fi? No, it's not. Crap. Well, I want to try to refresh it. I may have to try to reload this. I love snow. I do too. I really like snow as well. Let's try this again to get the European model loaded up, because I'll tell you guys this, it's the Euro that's showing the potential ice storm for parts of Kentucky and Tennessee there. Come on. Very slow. It's always around this time. The internet will be very slow. So here's Friday. Looks like we got a little bit of wave of moisture down in the Gulf. Not too worried about that, but oh, wait a minute. That's right. So we should start to see a system develop nearby New Orleans that'll be coming on shore. You see there that the low does start to intensify. Maybe a little bit of an ice fretch for the valleys of Virginia and North Carolina. We'll see about that. Doesn't really look to be by any means a nor'easter or even a snowstorm. But some of our other models do predict there might be a backside low, another low that tries to develop here. You can see here another rush of Arctic air does come in behind that. You can see there another low tries to develop there. It's gone. Now our main focus is going to be this wave right over here. So we do have the Arctic air in place here. What this could do is make the system go a little bit further south if it moves faster. Now this is when things get interesting here. This gives a snowstorm threat and also an ice storm threat here. So we're going to zoom in here. You got light to moderate snows across parts of Oklahoma and Kansas there. Got a little bit of icing in Arkansas. Now this is when things really start to turn gears, especially in Kentucky and Tennessee. Those exclamation points means a mix. But whenever I look onto different graphics, which I cannot show you because it was on my phone, that means freezing rain. And yeah, I can tell the difference. The explanation points mean freezing rain, and these little dots here mean sleet. So if we move on later into Monday, the low pressure system kind of starts to slow down and also starts to turn a little bit more to the north. Oh, come on. Please. I really want to show you guys this here. Here, I may have to do this graphic for you. So, what are you looking at here? So your low pressure is pretty far down here, a little bit further south. Later into Tuesday here, eventually what this model here starts to spits out, it spits out a lot of ice in this area here for a long period of time of about up to 5 or 6 hours. And on the north side of this is all snow on the north side here, and a little bit of snow over here, maybe. So for areas like up in here, you start at snow, then you transition over to freezing rain, then you transition back over to snow. If you're south of Tennessee, you're just going to be seeing rain and thunderstorms, just rounds of rain and storms. Now, it doesn't really look to be a severe weather setup. Oh, here we go. You can see what I'm talking about here. And that ice starts to train a little bit, then it ends as snow. Now, the snowfall amounts don't look that impressive. But if we go back here to Texas here, in Oklahoma, you can see snowfall amounts up to 9 inches. You can see some areas in Kentucky might be able to reach nearly 8 inches of snow. People say Kentucky is overdue for a blizzard. I don't think we're overdue, really. I think it will probably happen later in the winter. So, I think Kentucky will at least have a chance for a blizzard. It just hasn't really happened yet. I mean, the setup doesn't really look like it for a blizzard at this point. But we're going to see here how it's going to go. So let's move on to some other models here. Now, I'm not really liking the GFS model like I used to, because the GFS model for the past couple of systems, it's just been getting wrong left and right for a good chunk of areas. I mean, last night it showed widespread amounts, like here for my area example. It showed that my area where I live, 2.3 inches of snow, and it actually still showed nearly that much wherever it was happening. Guess what? I got nothing. And it was actually a bias from the other models. The European model backed off, and same thing for the other high-res models. So looking onto the GFS here, I disagree with the GFS on this solution here. Yeah, tonight it's just very slow. Sometimes this here will work. Moving this back and forth, usually it'll load a little bit faster. Sometimes it works. Yeah, no it don't. That's not good. Kentucky had that in 1978 and 1993. I think I remember my parents telling me about the 1993 blizzard. Um, yeah, the low pressure system was over Virginia, West Virginia, or the Maryland area. I believe that's where it was. Now, if you do not know Weather Dakota, he does have the Ohio Valley bullseye for blizzard potential, which is also having the area for a jackpot, which is having the most of the snow. So I don't know. We'll see. We may have a chance. It's been a very long time since we have a blizzard. It's been a long time since we had an ice storm. That ice storm is the last ice storm we had was back in 2009, and that was nearly 11 years ago. Last time we had a white Christmas, that's now going to be about 10 years ago. That was back in 2010. We had about 3 inches of snow. It was awesome. It was snowing Christmas Eve night. It was really nice. I like to see that happen. There's a chance for us to have a white Christmas this year, and it's kind of looking like it, the setup that I'm seeing here so far. That's what I'm hoping for. Just want to talk a little bit about that as we are waiting for the GFS update. But may as well, while we wait for the GFS update, I made a graphic here. A little bit of a rough draft. This is in effect from, this is a graphic from about this weekend throughout all next week. So in the blue there, that is snowstorm threats. That's where I'm indicating possible snowstorms. In this pink area here, that's an ice storm threat from one of the systems. This gray here means mostly wet. I don't think you could see a potential transition over to snow, especially in the northeast. There, it kind of really depends on the jet stream path there. Oh yeah, that's right. I can't do that. But oh yes, I can. Oh, I didn't know. So this is where I'm predicting where the low pressure, the jet stream path could go. I believe the jet stream path is going to be something like this here. In the north side here could be snowstorm threats, and it's looking to be a very active pattern. If you're south of it, you may have severe weather chances across the deep south here. But you can also get a lot of rain. I haven't showed you the European model yet, but what I've seen from the European model, it's got rainfall amounts either from 1 inch to 4 inches of rain for some of these areas right in here. And what that indicates here, you got active jet stream here, you got multiple low pressure systems, but if you go up for areas like up here, there's not much rain, but if you look at the snowfall amounts, there's actually a decent amount of snow. So, overall, I think this pattern here is going to last for at least probably for another week or maybe 2. So, hello, Braden Harper. Welcome to the stream. Where is Lexington, Kentucky? Let me get off of here real quick. I can show you off of this. I'm sure it deleted the graphic. It doesn't save it, unfortunately, but it's kind of easy to use. Lexington, Kentucky is right about there. So, just central Kentucky. What about Whopper snowstorms this year? I think we could probably see at least 1 or 2 of those for a Whopper snowstorm. I mean, the models have been going back and forth on things far out. I mean, the GFS has been acting very silly. Look at there. It's updated. You can see here, it does show a little bit of wave of precipitation towards the Ohio Valley this weekend here. We may get a brief freezing rain at the beginning there, and it's just all rain. Here comes the system here. This is what I don't disagree with here. You can see here with the placement here of this low pressure system here, it's pretty far up north, but the jet stream pattern I'm seeing here, it could be farther south here. You can see here for parts of the lower Ohio Valley, the Tennessee Valley, showing rounds of heavy rain, maybe even some thunderstorms as well. But if we look into previous runs, however, if this here can load, you can see here it's actually further south here. Previous run. Should be about 6Z, which is this morning. As you can see here, oh, you can't do that. Hold on. Let's look into 6Z really quick. That's this morning. But as you can see here, it's actually a little bit weaker, but it does give a little bit of an ice and snowstorm potential for parts of Kentucky there. And you see it might become a winter storm later on. Is Lexington, Kentucky in the ice storm threat? Yes, it is. Yes, it is in the ice storm threat. Now, it's not going to be really guaranteed. It is about a week out, so don't panic or anything. It's one model we're looking at. Now, all models do agree that the system's going to happen. It just really depends where the low pressure is going to track here. Like if the low pressure is going to track somewhere like this here, there might be an ice storm threat. That's what the Euro is showing. But if you all have seen from the GFS model here, it's actually further up north, which it gives Kentucky over here just mainly rain, and maybe would get some snow on the backside of it, and it just gets a possible winter storm right up here. But I disagree with the GFS model here because it's just not been doing a really good job recently here, so I don't really trust it. Did I show you guys the CMC? What about Moorhead, Kentucky? Moorhead, I know where that is. It's probably going to be a little bit of a close call with the ice storm threat. It could be a little bit in between freezing rain and rain. Now, everybody in Kentucky and Indiana and Ohio as well, I do believe that you will start off as wet snow, then you transition over to freezing rain. Now, some areas may be able to go to a cold rain, then go back to freezing rain, then back to snow. But for most areas there, it's wet snow to freezing rain, then back to snow. That's a pretty bad combination there. Excuse me. But yeah, for Moorhead, you do have a little bit of an ice storm threat as well, but just don't take my words right now. It's just a week out. So, but it is something to mention, though. Something really to mention. And let's go ahead and go back to the 18Z run. And I want to show you guys what the GFS has got and stored a little bit further out. So we're about to reach about 10 days here. You can see there, the GFS has actually got another winter storm, and look at this here. Now, this is another ice storm threat and another winter storm threat for Kentucky, maybe even West Virginia, the Carolinas there. Probably a flash flooding threat as well for the Deep South. Now, if this does verify, which I'll show you the snowfall totals, the total snowfall. Now, keep in mind, this is 294 hours out. So this is the snowfall forecast. It does include sleet and freezing rain, so it's not going to be 17 or 16 inches of snow for the Carolinas and Virginia, because that's mixed in with freezing rain as well. So it may be more like under a foot, maybe more like these areas here for the same amounts. Now, if I look at the 24-hour snowfall, should be more accurate. Yeah, there you go. As you can see here, shows snowfall amounts nearly up to a foot along the Ohio River there. If you all guys got any more questions, you can put it in the chat. I can show you guys a different website here. Unfortunately, I cannot show you guys the ice amounts from the European model. I wish. Cloud Meteorology used to have the European model, but it's been taken off, sadly. So, GFS, we'll choose this area. Yeah, let's look into freeze and rain accumulations first. Load. Let's see here. This here can pull up. Let's see here. Sometimes it takes a while. Tonight, it's one of those nights that it's pretty slow. It's pretty unfortunate. But it's usually caused from live streaming, which it does cause extra lag and FPS drops. So, if it does lag, I do apologize. I have those problems before. So, let's take a look at the GFS here. With the ice accumulations. Ooh. You can see there for parts of Kentucky up to 0.37, 0.66. Now, this is not a really accurate look. Nearly 2 inches of ice. Yeah, just a lot of ice for North Carolina there. Just plenty. Let's look into... Now, this is a more accurate look here. Let's see. Okay, let's see. Excuse me. Bless me, whatever. But, as you can see here, by their GFS model here, there goes your first winter storm potential there. Having a cold really does suck. Let's see. Again, it's pretty slow. Oh, there we go. Yeah, look at those snowfall amounts. That's quite a bit of snow there. You can see parts of Kentucky, it's got even over a foot in some spots. You can see Virginia, West Virginia, even parts of Maryland, Delaware, New Jersey, nearly 20 inches in some spots. Quite a bit of snow, but again, this is very far out, so it's more than likely going to change here. But I like to say lock it in because I really do like snow. I do like to look at this, but I don't really like the ice, so. You don't like ice storms? I mean, it's pretty when you see the ice on the trees, but there's a really bad side with ice. You know? I mean, I do like ice. I don't. You know? It's pretty when you see it, ice on trees. It really is. I have the memory in my head from 2009. That was crazy. 2 inches of ice in southwestern Kentucky, central Kentucky have about 1.5 inches. You know, I had no power for a couple of days. Took a while for sure. But so I don't know what else to show you guys here. We can take a look onto the Canadian model. I don't know if I showed you guys that. I can't remember if I showed you guys the Canadian model or not. Probably didn't, but here's that system here. It's kind of between here. This is also a little bit of an accurate look to it. You see there, it's not really much of any winter storm. It's a pretty weak system. It does, again, give a little bit of ice threat a little bit further up north. You can see there, it brings in a very deep trough, though. Very cold temperatures. We should probably talk a little bit about temperatures as well, especially for the northern plains there. They are really cold up there right now. We can take a look into the NAM 3KM on this one here. Where do I live? I live about 15 to 20 miles southwest of Lexington. That's where I live. Let's look into these temperatures here from the NAM. Let's see. So, I know another reason for it is I got too many tabs. So we'll take off those. Yeah, we're finished with that. So this will be the last thing we'll be looking at on the live stream. So man, this is really taking a while. This is also a 0-0 round too. I did ask Chris Bailey for the ice accumulations for the Euro. It hasn't responded to me yet. Hopefully it does, because I'm actually pretty curious see how much ice it is. I don't know what the ice accumulations is from the European model. I do not have the tool for it. I would have to pay for it to get the tool, and I have to get on a different website for it. Yeah, this is not going to load, but all I can tell you guys is it's going to be very cold up in the Northern Plains. So if you live in the Northern Plains, bundle up. It's going to be very cold. You're talking about the Dakotas, Minnesota, Wisconsin, Upper Michigan, maybe even Iowa and Nebraska. The wind chills could be about -30 or maybe colder than that. So you're talking about lows probably in the -20s in some spots. It's going to be very, very cold up there. So, if y'all guys got any more questions, that'll be the final call before I end the live stream here. Yeah, me too. I'd rather have snow than ice. I remember that the meteorologist, and this was... I know, was it the last winter? Yeah, I don't think it was the last winter. It was probably before the last one. But one time I had the meteorologists were forecasting 1 to 3 inches of snow for my area, but then they realized there's a little bit of a trend going on. There was actually more moisture than it was forecasted. So then, instead of getting 1 to 3 inches of wet snow, I got 8 inches of wet snow. And that is something else there. Yeah, I'm not going to lie, it was pretty, but downside about it is have power outages. So, it also did count as a winter storm as well. So, yeah, that was a really good day. So I don't think guys got any questions. So I'm going to end it in the live stream here, guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this live stream. If you all did like this live stream, hit that like button. If you do like my channel, hit the subscribe button. Hit that bell notification so you never miss an upload. If you all guys got any questions about this, watching this as a video, you can put in the comment section down below. I'll answer you guys' questions. I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.